Well, it was certainly a game that felt like one that we saw a couple days prior in that Week 5 meeting against the Arizona Cardinals. But the 49ers managed to actually hold on to something for dear life and managed to win this past Week 6 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. That was only on Amazon Prime Video for that Jeff Bezos money, pal. Yeah, did you remember to pony up for that Jeff Bezos $15.99 a month Prime subscription, pal? Did you remember to? Huh? I hope you did if you wanted to catch this game. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, the Niners managed to win this must-win game. And why was it a must-win game? Because, well, they managed to louse up, choke another division game, this past week, to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, they had to go travel up northwest to the Seattle Seahawks in that little nest that they call home. And, well, they had to go and win this one, otherwise risk being 0-3 in the division and basically sink their season. And what felt like an kind of already sinking season for the San Francisco 49ers. But they managed to do a little bit better this past game. And yeah, essentially save the season. They're 3-3 now, and they finally get their first division win, which was very essential to basically keep their season alive. So let's talk about some things that happened in this game for both teams. So starting with my San Francisco 49ers, well, the first thing I want to take away from this game was that something that they were struggling very heavily in this entire whole season. And, well, it took an eternity, pal. It was a struggle this game as well, but we managed to finally do it. God damn it. It finally happened in the third quarter. Red alert. Red alert. Stop the presses, pal. A red zone touchdown. A red zone touchdown. Oh, shit. I need a pen. Oh, let's write it down. Mark the date. What day is it? October? Yeah, I thought it was January. I thought we had to go all the way back to January. October 10th, 2024, in the third quarter, Brock Purdy connected with George Kittle in the red area for a touchdown. Holy fuck. In week 6 of the 2024 season, after a game where they were 1-6 in the red area, they scored a touchdown. It was such a problematic area for God knows what reason. I don't know. It was Kyle Shanahan's play calling. I don't know. It was the execution. The receivers like Debo, Ayuk, Jennings not being able to separate. But for whatever godforsaken reason, the 49ers were just not able to execute in the red zone. And they had to settle for field goals, which was kind of the same case prior to the touchdown from Purdy to Kittle. But they managed to finally do it in the third quarter. They managed to go up 23-3 early in the third on their opening possession of the second half. And not only did they do that once, but later twice in the fourth quarter. Progress was being made for San Francisco. Let's hope they do that again going forward. Let's have some consistency like we had last year. I know last year doesn't always translate to now, but hopefully let's maintain some consistency there. But something that certainly maintained consistency, but in the wrong way, was our special teams. It sucked. Just when I was starting to praise a little bit of heap a little praise on them, I had that backwards. But yeah, our special teams sucked this week. It was back to sucking. I'm not talking about that kind of sucking, but yeah, our special teams was not good this game. So right after they had George Kittle scored that touchdown in the red area, our special teams gave up the touchdown to Laviska Shenault, who actually fumbled in the first quarter that allowed one of the field goals in the first half. So they allowed Laviska Shenault, one of the Seahawks special teamers, the kick returner, to redeem himself, to score this big touchdown and get Seattle within just like a little bit closer to cutting that lead. And then I'm just like, well, here we go. It feels like that game that we just saw a couple days ago against Arizona. And then here we go, Seattle starting to slowly crawl back into this game. But and then you have towards the end of the game, when the game's pretty much already out of reach for Seattle, the replacement kicker Matthew Wright, he gets injured making a tackle, and a tackle that he honestly should have made, which is an indictment on how shit the special teams is. It's like they can't even make the tackle. So you had Jake Moody get injured on trying to make a tackle, and now you have your backup kicker Matthew Wright actually get injured on actually making that tackle. Like you saw shots of him and Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit talking about it. Oh, and then towards right before Brock Purdy does the kneel down, you had the camera shoot Matthew Wright exiting and then have his shoulder hanging down. It's like, yeah, those are things that he should not be doing, nor his special teams unit should be putting him in the position of be doing. Like, what the hell are we doing here, pal? So those are the things that I took away from this game in terms of the Niners. I mean, the rest of the offense, it stalled in the third quarter. Like, the play calling was not exactly the brightest. Like, why were they passing so much? Like, they should have been running the ball a little bit more, especially when you consider in the fourth in later in the fourth quarter, like they were running it actually pretty decently with Isaac Rendo, despite not losing Jordan Mason for the rest of the game with his shoulder injury. And I'm hoping that he'll be okay for the next game, because he came in for like one play, but they decided to sit him out for the rest of the game to just play it safe. And Isaac Rendo and Patrick Taylor pretty much held their own in that game, but hopefully we'll be able to get him back for the next game. So, like I said, the big takeaway for the 49ers was getting their first win in the NFC West with the season basically on the line for San Francisco. While still playing things, messy things to clean up, hopefully, going to this next big game. They got an important win to keep their hopes up alive. You're 1-2 now in the NFC West, and you're tied for first place with Seattle. Even though I think Arizona has 2 wins in the division, so you got to keep your eyes on the back of your head, because they have it win against you now. So had they lost this game, like I talked about in the preview of this game, the season was kind of essentially dead. For San Francisco. So they got a lot to think about in the next couple of days in preparation for the next game, which is going to be an interesting one that we're going to talk about just a bit after we talk about the Seattle side of things. Seattle, a couple reasons why they lost this game. They put themselves in a hole very early on. The offense struggling big time in the first half. Gino was throwing a lot of off-target throws. Plenty of them were going way past DK Metcalf. Not even an overthrow. Some of his throws were way to the left at times. And then he of course overthrew and underthrew his receivers, which slowed down the offense. And then on the opening possession, he threw a bad interception to the safety Malik Mustafa near the end zone. So that killed any potential scoring opportunity for the Seahawks. But then I could talk about with the special teams touchdown in the third quarter. That gave the Seahawks an energy boost to try and get back in this game. So, yeah, it gave them some life. The defense cooled down the 49ers offense alongside, the questionable play calling of Kyle Shanahan throughout most of that second half. But the offense for Seattle played much better because, of course, that them being down, it was 20 points in the third quarter, very early on. They had to play hurry up. They had to play catch up, and it tired out the Niners defense. And the offensive line, as sketch as it was throughout this game, and then, of course, the last game against the Giants, it did a better job in protecting Geno Smith. And that's despite Geno throwing another bad interception in the fourth quarter, which kind of halted things for their comeback. But by that point, it was a 7-point game after Kenneth Walker scored a touchdown. But nonetheless, they started heating up with Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba. So they are still hanging around. They were trying to get back in that game. But unfortunately, one of the big things that really let them down, that really killed them in the end, was their defense. And some of it was their passing defense, but the main culprit of it was their running defense. They really struggled against the run, has it been the case for most of the season so far for Seattle. But here in this game, they struggled against Jordan Mason, trying to shut him down. But especially like in very late stages of the game when they tried to get one more stop against Isaac Guerrero. So after they had cut the lead down to 29 to 24, like they're within that striking range. They just needed one more stop, but for some reason they didn't go for an onside kick. They elected to kick it off. I get it. You had 3 timeouts, but still, you should have went for an onside kick to try and fool that very terrible Niners special teams. But they decided to not go for an onside kick, and instead you kick it off to San Francisco, a short kick, albeit. And well, the one good thing that Kyle Shanahan called for, and the one thing that did happen for the 49ers that was kind of good in the fourth quarter, was this big run by Isaac Guerrero. He made him pay for it with this big run, and then 2 plays later, Kyle Juszczyk finished off Seattle with the goal line touchdown, and that was basically game. 36-24 in favor of the 49ers. That basically killed the Seahawks' chances of coming back in this game. So, yeah, a couple things that killed Seattle in this game, but it was especially the running defense that let them down. So, all in all, it was a kind of a mixed game still for San Francisco. There's still plenty of things that they have to clean up in order for them to really get them back on track. Next week's going to be probably a very interesting test for them. I know it's not necessarily in their conference, but still, if you want to really take them seriously again, then this is the game. The next week's game is the one that they really have to have. The defense has to play a lot better. They more consistently. The special teams especially has to do a lot better. And well, let's just say the offense for all 4 quarters. Well, basically the whole team. Let's just put it at that. The whole team has to come together for a team effort to play at their best for all 4 quarters. Like if you're up big, then you got to keep scoring and keep at that lead. Don't do what you did for these last two 3 games now. Two games of your last 6 and let it go away. Especially what happened back in February. So speaking of which, next week's matchup, you have some time to prepare for it, get some rest, and not just the players, but the fans. Take a break, get some water, drink it, go outside, go to the city, I don't know, take a nap, what have you, because we got some time before the next game, and this one's a Super Bowl rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. You probably have it marked on your calendars, marked on your phone somewhere. I don't know, maybe have it bookmarked on your social media, whatnot. But nonetheless, yeah, this is the kind of big one for San Francisco. If you want to put yourself back on the map, especially against the team that's trying to eat, sleep, conquer the repeat this season, then you got to find a way to basically pull off an upset against the reigning, defending, 2-time Super Bowl champions that whooped your ass mentally and emotionally and psychologically in the last 2 times you were in the Super Bowl that had basically stopped you from, quote unquote, finishing the story again. So, I mean, I know regular season victories don't mean a whole lot, especially when it comes to facing the team that beat you in the Super Bowl, but still, you still got to come away with a victory, especially when there are teams coming after your butt in the division. So, still some things to think about, but for now, they at least revel in this one, gain their first division win, but the work's far from done, and they saved their season. So I will leave it at that. And then they got some time to prepare for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So, yeah. Man, I know I'm repeating some stuff here, but yeah, not really a whole lot to take away from because a lot. It's basically still a lot of the things that we've already seen before. Some of the mistakes, but still some good things that we saw from this Niners offense. So hopefully we'll see even better things. Hopefully some of those things get cleaned up in another must-win game and another prove-it one against the defending 2-time Super Bowl champions in the Chiefs. So anyway, that's it for this 49ers recap video here on Cold Lasagna. I am DylanLasagna signing out of this one. What were your thoughts on the Niners beating the Seahawks 36-24? Let me know in the comments below. And let's have a conversation about it. And, well, I'll see you in the next one, which will be a little while. But until then, keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until that next time, which will be that next time, peace out.